in the heart of ancient Central Asia, where the wind howled across endless steppes and mountains, tore through the sky like blades, a queen rose to face the mightiest empire the world had ever known. Her name was Tomyris, ruler of the Massagetae, a woman history tried to forget, but legend refused to silence. When the Persian conqueror Cyrus the Great marched north to claim her land, he expected another easy victory. What he found instead was vengeance so fierce, so unforgettable, that his own name would be soaked in blood for centuries. This is not just the story of conquest, it's the story of the queen who made an empire bleed. If you enjoy untold dark history, make sure to subscribe. Before Tomyris ever drew her sword, Cyrus the Great had already changed the shape of the world. In the 6th century BCE, while Rome was little more than a cluster of huts and Athens was just discovering democracy, Cyrus built an empire that stretched from the Mediterranean to the mountains of India. He was not a brute, but a strategist, one who conquered through mercy as much as through steel. When he seized Babylon, he spared its people and freed the Jews from captivity. His famous Cyrus cylinder, carved in clay, declared tolerance and justice, the world's first known charter of human rights. But behind that benevolent mask lay cold ambition. Every act of kindness served his empire. Every conquest fed his hunger for more. And soon, his gaze turned north, toward the untamed lands beyond the Massagetae River. Beyond the northern borders of Persia stretched a land without walls, where the wind was law and the horizon was endless. Here lived the Massagetae, a confederation of fierce nomadic tribes. They knew no cities, no kings, no boundaries, only freedom and the loyalty of their clans. Their warriors rode with unmatched skill, surviving in a world that demanded strength and cunning. Among them ruled Queen Tomyris, widow of a fallen chief, who had taken command not by inheritance, but by will. While Persian kings ruled from marble halls, Tomyris led from horseback beneath the open sky. To Cyrus, these people were barbarians. To themselves, they were the last free nation on earth. Cyrus did not strike first with swords, but with words. He sent envoys to Queen Tomyris's camp, bearing gifts and a proposal: marriage. To the outside world, it seemed a gesture of peace, a union to bind two realms. But Tomyris saw it for what it was, a conquest disguised as affection. If she accepted, her people would become subjects of Persia. If she refused, she would provoke the wrath of the greatest king alive. Her reply was calm, but unyielding. She would be neither wife nor subject. The Massagetae would live free, as they always had. To Cyrus, who had never known denial, her rejection was an insult too great to bear. Pride turned diplomacy into destiny, and destiny toward war. Enraged by rejection, Cyrus ordered his army to march beyond the Massagetae River into the wild heart of Massagetae land. Queen Tomyris warned him once more, "Rule your people and tolerate seeing me rule mine." But Cyrus, blinded by ambition, ignored her counsel. His army crossed the river and built a false camp, stocked not with soldiers but with wine, a drink unknown to the nomads. Then, pretending to retreat, the Persians hid in wait. Tomyris's son, Spargapises, led a detachment that discovered the camp. They defeated the small garrison easily and celebrated with the strange, intoxicating drink. By nightfall, the warriors lay helpless, overcome by the poison of luxury. Cyrus struck. The massacre was swift and merciless. Spargapises was taken alive, but when he realized how he'd been deceived, he begged for freedom and took his own life. When Tomyris heard the news, her grief became ice. Her message to Cyrus thundered with fury. "You glutted yourself on my son's blood with wine. Now I swear by the sun, I will give you your fill of blood." Cyrus pressed deeper into the northern plains, certain of another easy victory. But Tomyris was waiting. She gathered every tribe of the Massagetae, riders born to the saddle, warriors whose arrows could strike a bird mid-flight. They rode under a sky of burning blue, their faces hardened by grief and the promise of vengeance. The Persians came armed with bronze and pride, their ranks heavy and slow. The nomads came with speed, silence, and fury. From beyond the horizon, the Massagetae descended, waves of horsemen striking and vanishing before the Persians could form their lines. The desert echoed with the clash of iron and the scream of men and beasts. Persian banners fell into the dust, their disciplined formations shattered under the chaos of the steppe. Arrows rained like storms, the air stank of sweat, blood, and fear. Cyrus fought as he always had, in the front, sword flashing, voice unbroken. But even the greatest king cannot command the wind. His army, unprepared for this kind of war, was swallowed by the endless plain. By nightfall, the earth itself seemed to drink the blood of 2 nations. When dawn rose, the horizon glimmered with armor and corpses alike. And there, among the fallen, lay Cyrus the Great, the man who had conquered kingdoms older than time, now just another body claimed by the steppe. No chronicler recorded his final words. Only the wind carried them, whispering across the silence of his empire's end. When the dust settled, the queen's soldiers searched the battlefield for Cyrus's body. They found him among the fallen, lifeless, his armor caked in the blood of his own ambition. Tomyris gave a single, chilling command. The conqueror's head was severed and brought before her. Then she ordered a wineskin, the same kind used to hold the drink that had doomed her son, filled not with wine, but with human blood. Lifting Cyrus's head by the hair, she plunged it into the skin and declared, "I live and have conquered you in battle, but you have destroyed me by taking my son through trickery. Now, as I promised, I shall quench your thirst for blood." The act was more than vengeance. It was a symbol, a warning to every king who mistook mercy for weakness. The man who had spilled the blood of nations was drowned in his own legend. The story of Tomyris and Cyrus comes to us mainly through Herodotus, the Greek historian who wrote decades after the battle. His account is vivid, but history often blurs where myth begins. Persian records claim that Cyrus was buried with honor in Massagetae, his capital, suggesting his body was recovered. Greek writers, however, had every reason to glorify the tale of a barbarian queen humbling their eastern enemy. Still, fragments from later historians, from Justin to Strabo, repeat the same truth. Cyrus died fighting the Massagetae, and a woman led them. Whether her vengeance happened exactly as told no longer matters. What endures is the image, a mother's justice staining empire and eternity alike. Tomyris left no empire, only a legend. In a world that forgot most women, she endured as the queen who defeated Cyrus the Great. Her victory proved that freedom can outlast power, and that arrogance, not weakness, destroys empires. The Persians built cities. Her people rode beneath open skies. Yet it was the nomad, not the emperor, who prevailed. On the steppes, where the wind still howls through the grass, her name endures, not as conqueror or wife, but as vengeance made eternal. Cyrus conquered the world. Tomyris conquered him. Her name lives on in the wind, a reminder that even the greatest empires bleed.